and go crazy, and go crazy, and go crazy, and go crazy. Go crazy, go crazy, go crazy. All the way from the go crazy like a dum-dum. East side homeboy, where I come from. Dance on the floor till you go numb. No fighting, no hating, no red wrong. This is OOO City. All the way to the bay, hit the bass for me. Catch a case cause it's beating up your Chevy. Get you moving side to side, getting out sweating. Make it work it out. Turn the volume up loud. It's a dry crowd. Make it all shout. Go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Hit play on the track and I'm ready. Like a quarterback, Tom Brady. Get you all in the friends. Go crazy. Go crazy. Go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go crazy. Go
the bloods and took the club up. They tear the runs up, fools we turn the subs up. Everybody hands high like a drug bust. Yeah, I'm from the west, homie, don't you see the dubs up? Baptize him on the spot, fill the tubs up. Rap now, hit the blocks, tell him fill the cups up. Show up, you know the type of photo. Go-go, yeah, logo, solo. You know I represent the Ojo. Mercy together, the devil in the choco. Either I leave him on the mat flat out, until he black out, or when they see him tap out, they go crazy. Go crazy. Go crazy. All the way from the O to Go crazy. Go crazy. All the way from the O to
What's up? What is going on, Scoop Nation? It is Tuesday, 8:04. Oh, that felt so good. I miss Kels. I had to throw in a Tuesday for the one time. I miss my sis. So, Kels, whenever you watch this, we miss you, sis. We miss you. Shout out to her out here moving and grooving in this entrepreneurial world. Anyway, good evening, everybody. We are so glad you decided to join us on this fine Tuesday evening. We have got a jam-packed show. We got the fire starter coming on in a little bit. We've got some blazing hot topics, and we got a little change of pace for our main topic this evening. So if you've been kind of woe out about these relationships, we got a nice little pivot for this evening's main topic. So stay tuned for that segment for sure. If you are new here, again, welcome. We hope you are already settling in nicely and you feel led to hit that share button to let the people on your main feed know where the conversation is on this evening. Okay, so if you feel led, if you would please see that Masters of Divinity is rubbing off on me on this evening. Yeah. If you feel led, I implore you to please hit that share button to let the people know where you're going to be, because this is going to be a really, really good show. And we also invite you to follow us on our social media sites and platforms and whatever the buzzword is on this week. So if you would please follow us on YouTube at The Scoop Show, on Facebook at Real Scoop Show, and on Instagram at Scoop Radio Show. That way you never miss a show, because we got you with the replays. We give you hot topics before the show, all the good stuff. Lots of conversation happening in all of the places. So be sure that you are locked in. Hit the little bell so you know, hit the little follow, check mark, and all of the things so you never miss the scoop. Okay? Aside from that, oh yeah, tell us where you're from. Drop that. Whether you at the replay, you're live, tell us where you're listening from. Okay, hit that in the comment section, and be sure to let us know what you're thinking as we move on through this agenda on this evening. Yeah, there you go. That's it. How you doing, bro?
I'm good. How are you? Uh-oh.
I am good.
I meant to do that. There we go. I'm good. How are you? I'm excited, of course. Obviously, big day, big week. So this last 3 days have been tiring. So but I'm good.
Yeah. Look at him being out quick these last few days. Woo.
I mean, I preached Sunday, so then Mother's Day, so doing it with mom and my sister, and then yesterday was graduation. So I'm tired.
Yes, yesterday was not just graduation. Yesterday, our good fearless leader here was finally able to walk across that stage and receive officially, like for the people, his Masters of Divinity. Okay, so if you have not caught my post that I've shared all over the internet on today, if you have not checked any of the posts that any of the rest of his family and friends, extended brothers, sisters, cousins, thems, play cousins, all of them have shared, please drop your congratulations. That is a feat that most of us won't ever even think about doing. So let the good bro give us some hearts and some thumbs and all that good stuff to show our congratulations. On top of giving us this show and preaching the good word to us on this book, because y'all, we not easy. We are not easy to teach to, okay? He has managed to get his Masters of Divinity. You talk about a snazzy title, Masters of Divinity. You just got to say it with you. I need a pinky up. So congratulations, bro. Very, very, very proud of you. Very proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So yeah, he ain't just tired. He ain't Reggie tired. Like it's a different level of tired.
Yeah, tired, but it's all good. Yeah. It's been good. So like I said, to see my family happy and enjoy the ceremony was worth it. So definitely worth it.
Good.
So you good? How are you?
I'm good. Today was very much a Monday all over again, but it was all right. It was a good day. I was in a good mood and we made it happen. So yes.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, of course, let's go ahead and jump into these topics. Before, of course, we do that, y'all, if you haven't hit the share button, go ahead and do that. If you have some people you need to go ahead and tell them and tag them, come on and tag people. But this is, it's that time to get into these hot topics. So, of course, we know hot topics are brought to you by Bob Shamrock in Oklahoma City, which is, of course, owned by our very own Kels Johnson. It is at 2901 Northwest 10th Street across from the fairgrounds. Bob Shamrock, where you can pull up and fill up. So fill up your gas tank and fill up your stomach at Bob Shamrock at 2901 Northwest 10th Street in Oklahoma City. Black-owned gas station. I'll say that again. It is a Black-owned gas station. So if you are in the area, if you're close to the area, then go over, get you some gas, get you some food, and support Bob Shamrock again at 2901 Northwest 10th Street in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And of course, tell them that your people at the Scoop sent you. So, all right.
Wait. If you at that space that I know my car space, use that time to make it to Bob Shamrock to go on and fill up. Okay? Because we do that. So if you at that I know my car, like, I got a little bit here. No, you don't. Know it enough to get it on over to Bob Shamrock. Know it well enough to get it to the home front at Bob Shamrock.
While you filling up, gonna get you some of that fish and chicken in there.
Ribs, Jesus.
Get you, if you play the lottery, get you a lottery ticket. Play them numbers that you saw in your dream.
Yeah. Grab you some good sanitizer and things, some deodorant for the car from Milongo Soaps and More, because they also on the shelves. Go on and get you some of that.
Support your Black-owned businesses.
Mm-hmm. See how we did that, y'all? You see how we did that?
I missed the wrong one. Wrong one. Oh, it's this one. Nope, wrong one again. What happens when you write
preview,
this?
Y'all got the previews. Get your comments ready.
Oh, did I know this is?
I think it's black. It's the one with the black background and the green. Yep. Ooh, yeah.
All right. There we go. All right. So JB posted this one, and of course he starts by saying, "Men are from Mars, and women are from ... So here is the conversation for those who cannot read such small writing like myself. It says, "So I met this guy yesterday. We talked for a bit. I gave him my number. The first text he sent me this morning said, quote, Friday, 7:30, dinner at blank. Made the reservations, end quote. She said, I am shook, LOL. Then the following comment, somebody responds, hair-wise, what
no, that's still her. That's still her.
Oh, no, that's her. Yeah, hair-wise, what are we thinking? Bone straight, slick back ponytail, loose curls with part in the middle. Somebody else, Miss Ella, there we go, says, that's exciting if you really like him, but that's a huge red flag for me personally. Makes me feel like he doesn't value my time. What if you already had stuff going Friday? Somebody else says, the fact that the guy didn't ask is a huge no for me. It might seem cute, he's invested energy, but it could be, let's see if she has boundaries energy. Then Amy says, what if you already had plans though? Bold of him to assume you are free on 2 hours notice. You. What are your thoughts?
I think the comment section is crazy. First of all, we ignored Sis's real question. What are we doing with this hair for this date? For this man who took the initiative to plan this damn date? Like, we've been fussing and saying that we want it for forever. Like, let's answer Sis's question, okay? First of all. But overall, the comments I think are crazy. I think they're crazy. You know, the last one is didn't put a time limit on it. She talking about 2 hours. That ain't what that man said. Why say Friday if it's 2 hours from now? That's silly. It's not 2 hours from now. It's Friday. So like, let's not do that. And if she's got plans, then say, oh, that's sweet. Can we rearrange? Can we reschedule them for X day that I am available? Seems reasonable, right? Like, stop it. Sometimes we do too much. We're looking for a reason to just fuss. Let her enjoy the fact that he did what we've been saying that we want to do. Like, good for you. Good for you, sis. You found your one to do. Good job. Good job. And be on time. Hell, that's what they should have been saying. Make sure you on time. 7:30, you be sitting there at 7:25 ready to roll. So let's go.
I'm totally confused on this. I'm like, wait.
Makes no sense.
I had to go back and look. Okay. First of all, yeah, the 2 hour thing. I'm like, where'd she get that from? Because was nowhere in anything.
No.
But then again, it was like y'all just really again, and not so. Let me say, it's not that what they're saying couldn't be right, but it's like, yeah, he could not. But from that, you made a huge red flag, and it's like you jumped all the conclusions and landed at the worst possible, one of the worst possible reasons.
Yep.
Without any conversation, without, like you said, most of the time, isn't that what we want? You want a man who's going to, have some conversation with you and actually take you out on a date instead of only want to come over to your house and Netflix and chill, or want to spend all this time talking instead of getting to know you in person. And then you don't want to just go coffee. It actually has to be. So he's done all of the things that is asked, and still is like, oh, he's got control issues. He's got, he doesn't care about you. He doesn't value your time.
Yeah.
How in the world did we get all the way to that?
I don't understand it. I don't get it. And what honestly, it makes the other times when we're trying to make valid points about boundaries and what's really comfortable and welcomed, it makes it really, really hard to have those conversations because it's these posts that keep being brought up. See, but when we do that, then y'all say, y'all don't really want that. That's what it says. So then the women who are just like, that don't ever agree with this kind of stuff in the first place, that think these types of posts are completely crazy. When we say, but we didn't agree with that either, that, oh, now you don't agree. Oh, right now, because we say, no.
We never agree with that.
Thinking women do not agree with this madness. This is not accurate. So it's like we got to stop sharing this stuff. Like, I get why this was shared in this particular group, especially. I get it, but like this type of stuff, we should stop glorifying this. We should have been going in on them commenters and that. Like, it should have been 50,000 people saying, "Sit down somewhere. Let her be at. Sit down." Like, stop that. That's what should have happened on that post. Women should have come out in droves and been like, "No, sis, this ain't it. This ain't the post for that."
Yes.
No.
And been like, brothers, this is not what we want.
Yeah, ignore them. They don't
leave the silly rabbits alone. We're good. Do this. This is what we want.
Energy. Yes, up here. This is what we want.
Every time. Do that. What he did, that's what we want. Do that.
2 thumbs up. 10 out of 10. Yeah.
So I always, when I saw it, I laughed because I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna. I wanted to find like if there were gonna be ladies who would be like, yeah, here I'd be like, okay, because then I had questions for you. I have some questions for you.
Just a few.
How'd your last relationship go? Mm-hmm. Tell me what happened. How was your last relationship? How did that work? Was he controlling, or did you just not like? Tell me the dynamics of that relationship, because I definitely would need to know. Because this guy,
yeah, I don't understand.
What's up, David? So yeah, I'm with that. I'm with him. All right, let's go to the next one. See, is this the right one? Yep, got it right. Okay. All right.
I think we should summarize this post. Ain't nobody got time to read all that. That's why she shared the pics.
Go ahead. You can summarize it, because.
Okay. So this particular post came from one of our most spirited scoopers, Miss Shanae Spears. Good sis Shanae, and she basically gave us a opportunity to break down a real life situation. She has a friend who has been dating a person who is an older person. She gave his age, he's 51, and he basically sent her friend a long, very emotional, vulnerable conversation. He shared his wants and desires as far as a wife and a relationship and what his expectations are. Her friend was all gushy-eyed and mushy about it and was so excited and looking forward to the future, whereas Shanae, looking on the outside, was like, hold sis, wait a minute, and had some reservations. So with her permission, she shared the post, and then as we had more commentary, because it sounds beautiful. I mean, this man gave, speaking of stuff that we say we always want, like this was play-by-play what most women would love to hear from their potential life mate, okay? Like their potential spouse. This is the type of vibe you want him coming in. Well, we later find out that this gentleman has a pretty significant past. He's got some drug use, some drug abuse. He's recovering. He's been clean, I think she said 5 years. He's had some failed marriages. He's got some accountability issues, things of that nature that the friend is also aware of, but she's in turn the cheek mode. So we got into, after we finally got the details, because we did definitely call sis out on it. Like, that's where you should have led with. Like, you should have led with that. So we could really give some good commentary on it. But that's kind of what this situation is. So I think to sum up the post, it is, when do you see behind the words and look at the past versus when do you say, all right, enough time has passed. Let's try. I think that's a pretty good way to look at that. Would you agree, Wynn?
Yeah. I think it's good.
Okay. All right.
What do you think? What do you think?
So this one, after hearing all of those deets and reading all of those words, I have to admit, this sounded, and I'm going to own this. This sounded, after hearing all of that, sounded like those types of letters you get when somebody's been not available to the free world for a while, and they got a lot of time to send a lot of information, a lot of shoulda, coulda, wouldas, won'ts, and all that other stuff. That's kind of the vibe I got after hearing all of the other.
Yeah.
I would hope that it would be a healthy relationship, but I just know with all of the things that were in that person's past and with how heavy he was coming with those words, and if actions even halfway meet up with that, because that was a lot of what he wants from his person.
It was a lot.
It was a lot, and it was not really a lot of reciprocation. It was more of a what you provide to the space that I've got. You know what I mean? How we can do that. So it got that kind of made me. I can understand where Shanae had some reservations on behalf of her friend after hearing what I heard.
I was concerned. I was concerned because I have never seen a man text this much in one message.
A man on the outside, a free man.
Like, and maybe it's just me, but like, this is 3 text messages. One of them, and one's got one line, I miss our talk. So I'm like, that's a lot for a man, unless he's angry. And even if we're angry, we still don't text. A lot of my it's mostly like we get short, but sometimes we'll get in and run. But yeah, that's what I was like. This is a lot for a man to talk. I just was like, I'm be honest with you. I had to like read parts, stop, come back to it. Like, okay, where was I at? Because it was just
It's a lot.
a lot in words.
I can see why she was overwhelmed too. Like, oh, like I don't know if it was with emotion or just you read a lot, sis. That was a lot.
I need to process all that he just wrote because it was a lot. So I think that threw me. But I also wonder. So I pushed back and said, okay, is it because we're not used to men articulate, right, David? He said, men articulating how we feel that much, or is it like, because again, nothing like he said, I mean, was, you know, what most people don't want or expect, but it was just quite wordy. It was quite a lot. It was just a whole lot. So I think that's really the big thing that kind of threw me, at least, was it was a lot. It wasn't really anything, you know, somebody who I can grow with, somebody who I can love, somebody I ain't got to be alone. Somebody, I mean, it's stuff normal people want, but sheesh.
Right.
Send a song. Like,
and he went straight from I miss our talks to all of that. Like, she didn't even get a chance to respond to that before. Like, that was a prepared message. He was ready. Or can you imagine how long them damn dots was dancing before she finally, I know she was probably looking like.
I was just like, look, I finally would have walked away. Like, just like,
I'll be back.
I'll come back whenever. I was trying to wait because I saw the dots, but I'll be back.
Maybe you just left the cursor on the phone. Maybe you just want to.
It's just too much. It was just a lot. I do see why I could see why a person would be concerned about it. But again, when you really look at it, he didn't really say anything all that. all that much more than what anybody else says or wants. So that's why I thought other thing, like, man, you said all of that. Like, were you trying to be romantic or something? Because
Yeah.
I don't know.
So with all the past and things, like how does that now, after we found out the details, how do you feel about the situation after that?
Yeah, I mean, so the question was like, how much of the past stuff do you
consider, like with all of he said, and then with after finding out what the background of that, how would that play into you if this was your friend, your thoughts if this was your friend you were talking to?
Yeah, I would have still would have been like, you got to pay attention. I'm not one. So to me, like, to use that would have been like, ooh, okay, we got to consider this. This is a thing. This is a pretty big deal. So let's pay attention to that. Let's have some more conversation. Not him telling me, but I would have to figure out, like, okay, what's changed? What have you learned? Where are you trying to go? Like, not so much what you want from me, but I want to hear the other side of that, of what, like you said, what you offer, and kind of as a man, where you're headed, especially if you're expecting me as your partner to follow or walk alongside of you. So it matters a lot in any scenario, but especially in something like this to me.
Yeah, because we got to look like more than what me is doing. So like, I need to know what we look like, not just what you like for me to look like.
Right.
And that's a lot of what that sounded like to me. You know what I mean? It read very much of what I expect from my partner.
Yeah. Which, again, I will say, I'll throw this out there again, because I think for most men, especially men in relationships, we don't do a very good job of asking what we want outside of sex. So sex, or when we feel disrespected, but so I applaud when a man can verbalize how he feels on a deeper level. So I want to say that. I do want to say that as a man, you should, I think that's healthy, but
yeah. And you mentioned that when you first responded, that that probably did put us off.
Make it a little more precise than this, brother.
A little bit. Yeah, because we want words. We do definitely want words, but with a lot of words. We tell women to back off from sending those messages too. Like, it's rarely encouraged for even us to send those, even though we do it. We shouldn't. Paragraphs, punctuation, they're for everybody. If it's got to be a paragraph, that's one message. Boom, send that. Next paragraph,
3-4 lines. That's it.
And a paragraph is 5 sentences.
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
That is a true English paragraph. Okay. When you get into the 10 and 15, sis, you're working on a chapter. Okay. I want Jamaica to come back and approve that later on. Andre, one of my teacher friends, come back and confirm.
That's correct.
Yeah, I think I'm right, though. English was my jam. I think I'm right.
Men don't text that much. Absolutely. I stopped at about line 4. That's about right. David says, I thought this was a
Amen. Amen.
Exactly. Now, that's longer than some songs. Actually, some songs are not even that long. It was just a lot. It was a whole lot of words that could have been skipped over. So, all right. Yeah, be worried. Be worried. All right, here we go. This one's actually good. This to me was probably my favorite post that I've seen in a while, actually. Yeah. All right. Sorry. Let me do that. Let's do this.
One too many clicks.
Yeah. Men love to talk about how much it sucks to be put in the friend zone. But can we talk about how it feels to be a woman and realize that you didn't have an actual friend? You just had someone looming over you, waiting for you to agree to have sex by them. Then being out in an awkward version of the friend zone because they never wanted to be your friend anyway. It sucks.
It
does suck.
Does.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. As a man, I can say being the reverse of this sucks. So I'm sure as a woman, this would suck. I've experienced this a few times as a man with women who I thought were my friend and have absolutely no desire to sleep with or be in an type of relationship with, only to find out that I was that person that they were waiting for, and it breaks my heart every time, because it's like, again, I thought this was pure and clean and something I didn't have to worry about. This ain't one of them things where like we used to sleep together, now we don't sleep together, and we trying to figure out how to be friends. Like there's no boundaries been crossed. We've been good, laughing, joking. I didn't share some things with you that I would a friend, and then boom. So it absolutely sucks. Now, added on to that, if I had the additional experience of being a woman who whose experience is different. As a man, I've got some I don't want to use the word privilege, but let's call it privilege, where I can where numbers are in my favor at this age stage of my life, where where again, I use myself personally, where again, I'm not an ugly dude. I ain't, I got some stuff going on. So having women around me is normal, but whereas I know that that's not usually always the case for some women. So to have that, taken away from you, from somebody, a place that you thought was safe, trash. It's a trash feeling. So yeah.
I also think that there is being women. We hear all the time how it's funny to me how when it serves the purpose, men can identify the fact that women are emotional and are very led by their emotions, can easily be manipulated by emotions. Example, whenever we talk about cheating, well, who does it better? Who does it worse? Who is it? How does it? Why does it hit worse when women do it? The first thing men say is it's emotional because they care. Women care when they cheat. Okay, right. So we've identified the fact that women lead first with their heart before they even do the thing, the unmentionable. It's always linked to the heart space. So to know that there are some people out here who manipulate that and even put women in positions that they normally wouldn't be in, and have that manipulated into a space where you think there's a friendship happening, you've been vulnerable, you've opened that person up, not necessarily romantically, but just as a platonic friend, because there's still a level of intimacy and vulnerability there. To know that's been manipulated because women have the heart thing. So you'll play the long game for the heart thing. This post was it makes a lot of sense. And it was a couple days ago. I don't remember all of the comments, but I can say the women agreed. You know what I mean? Like it agreed. And it was different because on a lot of the posts where we talk about men in the friend zone, no one ever wants to admit they were in the friend zone. Friend zone, friend zone. You know what I mean? But like this happens for men too. Just like you said, it happens. We end up, no one opts to be in the friend zone unless it's something like this. You know what I mean? Like no one really wants to say, I'm going to put a cap on where we can go until you just happen to get bored. Like nobody really wants to be put in that position that has good intentions. So this does, it gets to be, it's crazy. It sucks. It does suck. It just, to nutshell it sucks.
And my thing is this, if you don't want to be in a friend zone with somebody, like that's different to me. Like if you don't want to be, like if you and somebody else are, and you don't want to be there, I think that it's fair to make that known. Like if me and whoever, somebody, me and somebody are, and she's like, hey, I just want to be your friend. I'm like, I don't want to be your friend. Like that's not my intention. Is not to be in a friend zone with you. My intention is I want more than a friendship with. So we should be friendly at this point. Yep. But I'm telling you at this point, and I've said this before, I'm not going in your friend zone. I don't care what you have to say.
That's being mature. That's being an adult. Yes, that's being an adult. Yep. So but when you wait around until she cares for you, and then y'all sitting around watching movies, and then you do the push up on her and put her in that awkward position, knowing that there's feelings, but they may not be romantic feelings. Now you're in this weird space. You've crossed the boundary that we thought I was here, but now it's like, wait, what? You know what I mean? Like that happens in the movies, and it's all great for the movies, but that's not the situation that everybody wants. So I think that's kind of where I was going more with the whole the manipulation of the emotions. Like it's when you full well know that that's your end game. You know what I mean? And you're just hanging around waiting for that push up in the private moment. Like, don't do that.
Yeah,
do
that. Definitely. Yeah. I've seen it quite a bit recently too. I'll be honest. I've definitely seen it quite a bit recently, which has made me wonder. I'm going to say reevaluate or wonder if it's even possible, because I definitely think it's possible for men and women to be friends, but it's made me reevaluate, like, how do we define a friendship, and like, is there some kind of like maintenance or something that needs to be done during this process to ensure that this person understands that, it's not going anywhere? And then how do you respond to that? Like, how do you respond, to a person who has been your friend, has been a good friend, and even like if they just have a weak moment, like how do you, because now the friendship has been compromised, and now we have to go through this whole thing of rebuilding, because there's been, whether it's micro thing, but it's been a violation of trust. So I don't know now if I could, in this moment be your friend on that same level, or do we have to, like, like, what do we do?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's a very good question. It's very valid, especially now in the space of all of this sharing that we do. We can create what appears to be a very beautiful friendship quickly based on what you see of a person. You know what I mean? So unless you meet someone organically in face-to-face, where you have the opportunity to engage with them face-to-face, person-to-person on a regular basis, I do think that there needs to be some type of check every once in a while. And it doesn't have to be, hey, so where are we? It doesn't have to be that, but I just think you have to be cognizant of what you've actually been through as friends. You know what I mean? Because I look at, we talk about it all the time, our friendship. We have literally been friends for 10 years. But that relationship, as it didn't start off this way. We were acquaintances at first. We found out that we had a lot of things in common. Then we came together for a project, and then further found out that we had stuff in common. Then, you start to talk about other things. And this was a group of us interacting this way. So it was done very organically. We had different conversations and commentary and all types of situations that allowed us to be able to say, you know what, yeah, that's solid. You know what I mean? We were adding value that was not directly related to something else. You know what I mean? We collectively had something together, and that created a friendship. But when you look at situations that aren't that way, you know what I mean? It does make you wonder, like, you do have to keep your head on a swivel, your emotional head on a swivel, to be checking for those different red flags. Once we put them in a space, we have to realize, okay, wait. What did that really mean? You know what I mean? What's really going on here? And if you're friends, you can have that conversation and check that, and it'd be okay. You should be able to have that conversation and it'd be okay.
That's good. Yeah. And that's real. That's real. I don't, again, and I think that's different when it comes to, because I don't think, for like, I guess you do think do it like, do I have to do that with my guys? Like, have those types of conversations? I guess on some level you do. Yeah. So,
yes.
Yeah, you do.
Because it's easy to get caught up in the things that you like and that you share and the comment and, tagging and this, that, and the other. And when you really realize it, like when y'all get together, it's quiet. Like y'all don't really have that much in common if it's not related to something that you've shared, something out there in the sphere. You know what I mean? But you absolutely have to check your friends. That's how you end up with all them subliminal posts about you come up and all your people fall off. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can, those weren't really your friends. Those were your acquaintances. You haven't built anything with these people.
Right, except for, like you said, about the things that you agree on or that you have in common, and which is okay. I think you just have to put them in the proper in their proper boundary or their proper box.
Yes.
Like I don't expect my acquaintances to have the same response to things as I do my friends. So I expect, when life happens, I expect my brothers to show up.
Yep.
I don't
Yep.
expect my sisters. I expect them to show up. I don't expect my acquaintance to show up. It's like if they can, they can. That's cool. But
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
know, then that's not the box for them. So got it. Okay.
Right.
So yeah, that is true. That is definitely true. But I will say again, if your intention is not to be somebody's friend, don't do that, because recognize that you are. I think there's a character thing that's happening there that's
Mhm.
being when we do that to people that we probably don't even recognize, and expect, depending on the person, there's harm that's being caused to that person, because that person, some people really, like myself, I love my friend relationships. So when something like that is broken, I ain't gonna say I'm devastated, but I'm hurt. Like, it does hurt.
There's still a grieving process that has to happen. Mhm.
Yeah. So don't think that is just it's okay to just do that. My friends, I answer the phone for my friends when I won't talk to them, and I don't answer the phone for my acquaintances. Like,
That part.
they
That
can wait. I'm tired. But if my friend call, okay, I'm tired, but let me pick up this phone and make sure
I
they
got
are.
some time. Mhm.
So, all right, let's move on.
Ooh, child.
Your husband dies and leaves you with $5 million. His mistress shows up at the funeral with 2 of his kids. He didn't leave them a dime, but he took care of them and paid their monthly bills. She tells you she's about to lose everything and asks for your help. Are you helping her or not?
It's gonna be a hell no. Nope. I'm sweet. I'm a Care Bear. Keela love the kids, but no.
So you would help the kids?
I will set something up for I'm not paying her bills. I will put something in an account for them children with a little portion of whatever I'm hoping he left. If I ain't got nothing, you damn sure ain't getting nothing. I'm not responsible for taking care of you and them because he did. Like, no, that was not a part of our covenant.
You're not giving nothing, you said?
Girl, you better file for that SSI. No, I don't see why I'm responsible for that. If he did not have enough forethought to set these children up, knowing me, knowing who I am. I'm sorry, sis. If she wasn't smart enough to set them kids up, knowing who I am, you knew enough to show up and see my face, girl, please. You better get out of my face. You better get out of my face. Like, no. And I'm sorry for the babies. I am, but that was cute that she added the babies in there, but that has nothing to do with me. Nothing. You should have known at some point that was going to have to stop. Whether it be I found out, whether whether he decided he was done. You are the mistress, sis. You are the mistress. No.
So though I'm with you, and I think she should have taken care of the kids, and he should have done something to set his children up. I think that if I have $5 million and she shows up with some kids, first off, I'm gonna do my due diligence to make sure she's not lying. I want to see this, and if she's not lying and she's about to be homeless with these 2 children, then I'm gonna do one of 2 things. I'm either going to make sure the children are straight, or I'm taking them kids. It's gonna be one of them 2 things, because I personally just can't see. I would struggle knowing when kids is out there like that. And I get it's not my responsibility. I get that, that he's dirty. I get all of that. But I think that if I've got, I also say this knowing that if somebody was close to me, period, and this wasn't from a mistress and it was the same thing, I would try to help them. So
yeah, but that's the detail that makes it that is the detail. This ain't a random love offering for some random woman who's struggling. This is the person that you pledged your life with, who has not only cheated, but he created not 1 but 2 children.
Absolutely.
And then took more. No, and I honestly, full disclosure, I forgot all about the damn $5 million. I forgot that there was any money mentioned in this post at all. I went straight to the point that this man done made babies with another woman, and she had the nerve to look at me in my face and ask me for some more money on top. No. So like, I honestly just put money in it. I didn't even put the amount. So $5 million, okay, I can see your point, but I think the whole mistress thing is the whole point. That's the meat of the post. That's not, you want to be an angel and give a love offering to some babies who need. That's fine. That's different. I didn't pledge anything to their mama. I didn't make vows with nobody in that situation.
No,
I'm
you
just
didn't.
doing
Absolutely.
kindness of my heart. That's different. Philanthropy and then co-parenting a family you didn't know existed is totally different.
Yeah, I'm not co-parenting. No, I'm not. I wouldn't suggest that, but I do. Again, I would.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm
I know.
cutting
So
the
I'm
check,
saying I would be like, nah, I can't have these.
because that won't be the last check. She'll be back.
Yeah,
She'll be back.
I'd be like, let's get this. We're gonna do this one time. That's all you saw. You got. You ain't. And if she come back, nah, I can't. I got nothing for you. I set you up nice. You got you a job. Like this is. We can't. This ain't. No, that's not. I wouldn't do that. Let's see. Quinn said, nah.
I believe it too. Nope.
I go ahead and take care of them. Yeah, I would. Like I said, I would take care of the kids. It's $5 million. So I was entertaining. Oh, okay. She's talking about that's from the last post. When a person dies, it takes about 2 weeks to bury them. So they are about to lose everything within 2 weeks. Not my issue, not my tissue.
Nope and nope. I'm telling you, because you just got to think about it. You can't possibly be on the brink of destitution this quick.
I mean, I get it, but when I read that as he's gone and he's been paying all of her monthly bills, and now she knows that if he doesn't pay these bills that's coming up, she SOL. And so
you got about 45 days, sis. Most payment arrangements. Call your little landlord. Make it happen. Play the grieving chick. You know, they don't have to know you was the side chick. Just cry a little bit. Do what you got to do. Do what sis finna have to do. I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't have a lot of this. I don't.
I understand. I definitely understand.
I got 3 babies of my own. You know what we can do with that $5 million? Enduring our grief for our legacy, for our future.
You're going to Bora Bora. What you talking about?
Honey, we about to
talk about some grieving on the beach. I'm grieving. Keep fanning. I'm grieving. Feed me some more grapes while I grieve.
I'm gonna order 2 passports out the gate. We're gonna need 2 of them. Everybody. I'm gonna need don't say passportes. Okay. Okay, everybody. We out here. Okay.
You ain't gonna make sure the baby got some food. No baby, the food. Just gonna let the babies be hungry. Come on, Q.
I know a lot of community organizers. I know a lot of really, really good people. And I will even keep the story to myself and set you with a good referral and recommendation to all these good people that will make sure you and your children, you and those beautiful, beautiful babies are taken care of in your time of need. Okay, I know good people. Okay, me and my husband knew good people. We will ensure, okay, that them babies' tummies ain't empty. We will ensure of it. Okay, you need a program. They need some mentors. You need a mentor, baby. I got you. Okay, it ain't me, but I got somebody for you. Okay, I can't help you. I cannot help you because my intentions wouldn't be in the right place. You know what I mean? That ain't even the energy I'm trying to put out there like that.
You couldn't give them 50,000.
We ain't come on to the next post now. You're gonna put me out here looking crazy now and said what I said. I done said no.
Can't give them 10,000 just to.
I'm just gonna hope and pray this is not ever my situation. Let me just put it right there, okay? Because my paperwork is in order for everybody at 5232. So can't help you, sis.
Y'all better hope
For future sis that I hope never exists. I
Don't
can't
go.
help you, sis.
don't go see Q. It's not gonna happen. Don't go see Q because this is what y'all know what you gonna get. You heard it here first. wait. No, you know I know what you would say first. What's your line?
I don't know in this one. Yeah, right.
That's the first thing. She gonna come up to her time about I'm about to lose everything. What kind of Derek sound is this?
This concerns me. How?
And then you gonna be like, I can't help you. Sorry.
No.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about this. The Soul Sucker 2000.
This name, boy, killed me.
Listen, the name did it all. First of all, when I saw that in the comments, I was like, "That's what we call it." The name, the reviews.
Yes.
This is hilarious.
Yes.
So yeah. I'm interested if anybody bought this thing and have a testimony that they want to share. Because the ones that I've heard a couple, and all of the ones that
Next question.
Did you?
I just want
to know. Did you see the light? The one lady in the video was like, I saw the light. She said, I saw the white light. I was like, what kind of orgasms we having that you seeing white lights? Oh God. She was like, I saw the light. Look, the one video, she stopped. She came back and was like,
listen, that's the one that got me, okay? That's the one that had me put it in the cart. So for y'all that don't know, okay? So there are hella reviews on YouTube, not only Amazon. Go to Amazon and click on any one of these. You're going to see like, we thought homie in the post earlier used a lot of words. Women are giving like these look like fantasy sci-fi type descriptions of things, like the detail that some of these folks give without flat out telling you exactly like what happened is amazing. But YouTube takes it to a whole nother level. So there was one particular video that caught my eye because of the before and after of it all. So sis is first, she gets her little, it's called a rose, by the way. It's not the Soul Sucker 2000. You can probably search it because SEO is probably on point by now and find that. But it's called the rose, okay? So you search for the video. Oh, girl gets her little rose. She's taking it out the package. She's got her hair pulled back. She's got a hoodie on. You know, just look like, hey, I just got this out the mailbox. Let's talk about it, okay? She's very skeptical. She's hitting the thing, and she's like, this suction ain't a lie. You know, she's playing a thing like she's not a believer yet, okay? So then she says, so I'm going to try it out for a while. I'll be back. Scene changes, cut. Sis comes back. Listen, sis got a big, voluminous, luscious Diana Ross curly fro, okay? Sis's skin is glowing. She got it pulled back, and she's like, hey, y'all. Sis is delighted just to be here, okay? She woke up, and she's like, she's holding it, and she's like, y'all, I think she was holding it. She might as well have been. I imagined her holding it, okay? But she's like, y'all, this thing right here, I thought I was up. Listen, like she just keeps hitting us with the listen. It is amazing. The video is amazing, but listen, I paused the video and put it in my cart 10-15 seconds after sis came back from the cut, okay? Like I didn't even need to hear the rest of the review, but if you go show back up after 2 weeks of you looking like this, I'm gonna need to see what that's talking about. Okay, just on GP. Let's call the research from the Scoop sisters. whatever. Scoop husbands too, because a couple of them chimed in on the post and said, "Get that for your wife. It's gonna change your life." So yeah. Check out the reviews and see if you want to add that to your life. I think you want to add that.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah. I don't think I got to worry about sensitivity. It ain't gonna take that long. Like, it ain't gonna take that long.
I laughed so hard at the video. She said, "Y'all, she said, I ain't gonna lie, it's been a good 2 weeks."
We can tell, sis. That's all over your body. Okay?
I said she looked like she lost about 10, 15 pounds. Like she had I said, like you said, her face is glowing. I was like, oh, this is hilarious.
Yeah, that was not a Fenty glow. Okay, that was not a Fenty glow. Sis had going.
It was funny. So yeah, I was like, yeah, all right. Make sure. I was like, we got to find out about this. I think it was so I put the interesting part, this conversation, I posted that post on my regular page,
Lord.
and then I posted it in the school. 2 totally different conversations.
Oh, I'm sure. What were they saying on the Reggie? Well, what did the people have to say on the Reggie?
I don't think women should be doing this. This is why we have problems with sex in our relationships, because women are killing their nerve endings. And I'm like, I'm not an expert at this, but I just don't, unless you're using it that much, I don't see that being a real thing.
No, woman here. It can happen. And it doesn't necessarily have to be with like excessive use. You know what I mean? Like it depends on your body, and everybody's bodies are different, nerve endings are different. And it also depends a lot on the type of toy that you use. Like, just being real, it depends on the type of toy that you use. There are some that are made better for the anatomy to be able to do what they need to do without actually attacking the actual body. Because a lot of the times that's what causes that desensitization. Y'all know what word I'm trying to say. But yeah, excessive use will definitely do that. I can say the way that if you have a healthy sex life, if you're with a partner, anything like that, single folks gonna do what single folks do. We need not worry about what single folks are doing to get through their single folk time. Okay. But if you are in a married, committed, sexually functioning relationship, hush it. Okay. Because if your partner is using toys or whatever else enough to the fact that they getting to the point they don't even recognize you, you got a bigger issue than that toy. Let's not make it that. You got to open your mouth and talk to your partner. That ain't the issue. But it does happen. That was a little pause for the conversation.
Somebody says, I don't think toys are why men can't satisfy women. For the most part, they just don't care to, because they can and will get off without satisfying her. Some of their egos are too big to admit they're not getting the job done, and some are just clueless on how to please. Then we have those with small members who don't realize their members are small and that they ain't hitting nothing. But we not fixing to put this on the women or the toys they resulted to using. Yeah.
So they took it deep. We had giggles in the scoop. They took it deep.
Yeah, somebody says, I guess, I think some women become reliant on toys or self-pleasure, making it difficult when they are with their men. But chemistry matters too, and a man's attractiveness and ego issues do play a part in it. There are a lot of couples who only use toys together too, so that could negate the argument that the toys detract, I suppose. There are some men who are threatened by toys, and that's unfortunate.
I think the whole conversation around toys really has to, you have to ask yourself, how interested are you in pleasing your partner? How truly interested are you in pleasing your partner? Are you willing to ask them, do you reach orgasm this way? Because if you ever peep into any of these all women rooms, when women get vulnerable and start having these conversations, because having orgasms is a hard thing for women, just like the way that we're built, the way that our chemistry is made, all of that, the most willing and happy and consenting woman can still have trouble reaching orgasm. And there are many different ways that can happen. So a lot of men are not willing to learn the different ways that a woman is going to be pleasured that way. So when she looks to a toy to actually get that full feeling, you have to wonder, ask yourself, maybe I need to have a different kind of conversation. Instead of getting upset because she's finding pleasure, you got to figure out there's the root of that. Like, it's a toy. So you got to figure out the end game is I'm better. Like, I feel better after this. And if that's what you do, you got to ask yourself, what can I do to be that? What can I do to be that? Like, I want to be that. You know what I mean? And be willing to actually put into action the responses that you get.
Yep.
You know.
There it is right there. Is that
somebody out here trying to replace a man with no toy? Like,
no, you just have to humble yourself and ask. And it's really not humbling because, I mean, let's just be clear. If the shoe is on the other foot and there's some things that she's not doing that you want her to do, wouldn't you just be like, hey, don't do that. Can you do this instead? Yes. Like, it's the same thing. That's part of the beauty of that intimate setting, that you can have those communicate that and it not be about your ego, but about making sure the other person is pleasured.
Yep.
That's part of the beauty. So why ruin it by having an ego and worrying about
putting shame on them? Because it ends up being like a shameful conversation after a while. Like, why would you? If you love me, why would, like, has nothing. A lot of the time it has probably nothing to really do with you. Like, I want this is, you know what I mean? Like, those things get taken personally when they really don't have much to do with.
I think if that were to happen, the question, like you said, should always be, what can I do to make this experience better or more pleasurable for you? Mm-hmm. And vice versa. You know, so, but yeah, this Daggone Rose thing is hilarious. I saw that somebody bought a bunch of them and is reselling them for like 10 times the price. Yeah, so this is the thing.
I wonder if the little pleasure party people, what is it, Pure Romance? Does anybody, if y'all watching, even in the replay, if you know a Pure Romance person, or if you are, do y'all have a version of this? If not, I'm gonna need y'all to get one, or else y'all about to be put out of business. This one toy about to knock them lotions, them cute little teddies, all that little stuff, about to be all that whole section about to get wiped out the catalog, sis. If y'all don't get one of these, like your commission's about to dip. y'all need to get in them forums and tell the people to get on it. I
think I read somewhere that they have something, they have it, or if they don't have it, it was something very close to it or something. I can't remember, but yeah.
Listen, because the one that's out there got like 9 different functions on it. It's more than that 1, 2, 3. Like, y'all got don't half-ass it, because it's the real deal out here. So Pure Romance, Candy in them, Candy in there, whatever Candy's people's called. I can't even remember what they got, because sis is a little pricey, so I don't fool with her that often. But Bedroom Candy, that's her. I need her to get see, and she's usually pretty next level. She usually stays on cutting edge with her stuff. So I'm pretty sure if she doesn't have it, it's on the way. She's probably one of them reseller groups trying to get it on the repertoire. But this one is gonna change the way. I see it when folks got it up on their little countertop, their dressers. It looks like a little candle holder. People got it. You see the selfies and everybody's. It's not going away, y'all. I got a feeling this was gonna stick around for a while.
Unless they run out of them, that's the only way it's going away.
I think people gonna wait. We're gonna see Rosa coin in a minute.
But shout out to the resellers. Let me just say that.
Okay, yeah.
I saw one dude was selling almost like it was like $400 for them. I'm like, it's
not that good.
It
ain't that good.
It's a $30 thing, and you selling it for $400.
Not with Amazon out here. I'm not buying that with Amazon out here. Amazon got to be out.
They were out. Yeah, they were out, and that's why. So hey, I guess they didn't want to wait that week to get a restock. So they had to have it now. Now I'm gonna say this: if your woman has to have it that badly,
she paying $400, that's forget what we said earlier.
$400 for it. Yeah, that's a conversation. You need to hurry up and have that conversation, bro. Like, she want to pay $400 for a $30 toy because she don't want to wait a week.
Oh, that's funny. It's so true.
That's a conversation. Like, wait. What? $400?
That's when you take off work. As soon as that charge comes through across your phone for your notifications, you see what was purchased. You need to be. I'm gonna need to take PTO. I'm gonna do a half day, and you need to have that conversation. Meet her wherever she at.
I need the rest of the day off. All right, I'll talk to you later.
No, that's an email from the parking lot. You don't even have time to call. You get your ass in the car. You need to get there ASAPly, homie. Yeah.
Time to go.
It's a family emergency. I think that constitutes a family
Absolutely.
emergency. Get that.
Call your mom on the way home. Hey, come get them, pick up them kids. They staying with you for the next couple of days.
3:15, they all out of school. Pickup line starts at 2:50. Get there. If you don't want to wait, be in line. We ain't coming.
And then you need to call the hotel or something. You got to book a flight.
You book a flight.
Book a
If
flight.
sis is doing $400 roses, you book a flight. Mama, we gonna be in airplane mode. You can't call me after this time. In the next 30, 45 minutes, we're gonna be in the skies.
Yeah.
No.
$400 for a $30 tour?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
All right, that was cool. Hot topics, of course. That was fun. Good hot topics. All right, we got jump into this. You doing your ad? You got your ad?
Yeah, we could do the shape. Do you see how from last week?
The legs. Shanae's
Yes.
legs.
And it actually is Shanae's baby's leg. This one is actually a good segue into this conversation. So, for those of you who don't know, Elegance by Design is back, and I actually spent my Mother's Day getting all of your orders out. I think I packaged like 22 orders this weekend. So pickups are ready. I will be contacting y'all tomorrow, and everybody else is getting tracking numbers. They're on the way. And just about everybody purchased the product that is featured right here, which is the Sexy Shea Butter, the flagship, the baby of the bunch, the original, the OG of the gang. The Sexy Shea Butter is out here changing lives. A little background on this photo. Shanae purchased a container of shea butter for her daughter, whose leg is on the left. Both of these are her legs, but this is the before on the left. She battles eczema. She has some dark spots. She was not happy with the complexion or the care of her skin. And she was to the point where she was not wearing shorts. She wasn't really wearing skirts. She didn't wear the things that little girls like to wear because she didn't feel confident. So I sent Shanae Sexy Shea Butter, and she has been using it on her little mama for a few months now. And this is the results. What you see on the right, that clear, smooth, even skin on that baby is the results of using Sexy Shea Butter on her skin. This shea is whipped, it's light, it's non-greasy, it is made with all good stuff, and it is safe to use for everyone from infants to elderly. If you are interested in purchasing this product for this particular purchase, I am going to go ahead and suggest you purchase either the unscented, which still smells amazing and coconutty, or the Luscious Lemon Cake scent, because those two are free of scented fragrances, the fragrance oils that that create the beautiful scent of the others. But if you are purchasing specifically for that, those are the two scents that you want to get. Elegance by Design with a Z.com. It's DEZIGN.com is where you can get those products. All righty. That was an extended ad. It's been a while, so I took a few. But you got to explain that. You got to explain that. Shanae says, scarring gone, no discoloring, skin smooth and healthy. That is what we want for the babies. That is what we want. All right. Now, this topic is also about the children, okay? This evening, we are talking about spankings, whoopings, discipline, all of that with our children in the 2021 time. Child rearing these days. This one was, we got the Jasmine post.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Jasmine Turner is our good sis. She's been on the show, I think once or twice, definitely once for sure. I can remember. And she posts thought-provoking things all the time. And a couple days ago, she made a post with this particular statistic, long-term effects of spanking. aggressive behavior, low self-esteem, poor parent-child relationships, mental illness. Do you have her commentary? Okay. So basically, Jasmine, I wish I would have had it. So I should have brought it up. So Jasmine pretty much said that it is very interesting how when faced with an adult, like we can go to our jobs every day, we can deal with high stress, we can deal with people disrespecting us, we can deal with being put down, overlooked, all of the things, that happen in our jobs that we complain about in our atmospheres. And, we talk about the man and, race, all these other things that we literally push down and keep pushing. But we don't ever go into these spaces and cuss nobody out, really. We don't fight anybody. We never really put our hands on anybody. We're not abusive to these people. We just call it a part of the job. I'm going to come get my check and I'm going to get on up out of here. So she mentioned, why do we have all of this self-control for these people? Whereas when we come back home to the people that we made, the people that we say we love, that we're in charge of protecting and making feeling safe, and I might be adding a little sauce, but I know where sis was going. Why is it that now all of a sudden we lose all our control and the only way we know how to communicate our displeasure is to spank them? So I was like, yeah, you're right. And I went into the comment section and there were mixed comments. I think the majority of folks were pretty much on the same wavelength as her, we got to grow out of it. Or they even had mixed reviews saying, like, I started out when my kids were young. With my first couple kids, I did. And as I got more, as I had more children, learned more things, learned different ways, I no longer do that. And I can see the difference in my kids. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference in how the kids behave now. And there were some folks who were like, no, it's a difference between beating your kids and then just spanking your kids. And true, there is a difference in spanking and beating. There is definitely a difference there. But I think the root of them, we have to really start to discuss the root of them and why we use that as our only option or the primary for teaching the hardest lessons, that it has to be done that way. That's the only option to get them to not run out in the street. That's the only option that we get to not touch the stove. That's the only option that we have to, enforce those lifelong things that we tell ourselves, well, if I do it now, they won't have to do it later. Because I was the one that said that. Like, that was one of the things. Now you make sure you get it now so you don't have to come back later and do it. That was one of the things that I said in the beginning. So like, why? So that's what we're talking about. Like, why do we continue to do this when it's been shown that there are some different ways to do that? What is the reason for that? Knowing also that we see these things like this. These are the adults that we interact with that we are so frustrated by when it comes to being in relationships and interacting. Why are they so confrontational all the time? Like, you can't never get a word. Like, what? We sometimes have to think back. Maybe this has a little bit to do with it. Maybe. All right, that's my spiel. That's my setup for tonight's topic. Let's get into it. I already see we got comments coming. What's your thoughts while we get going?
So I am. All right, long term. Okay, so let me start. I agree with her initial analysis of not being able to control ourselves in this setting as opposed to we do in other settings like work. Mm-hmm. I've used that same analogy when it comes to relationships. I've said, mm-hmm. I've said that to people like you don't talk crazy to your boss, but you come on and want to talk crazy to me. So that's, if you control yourself with your manager, then you control how you talk. So I can't argue with that.
Right.
I think that we should definitely discipline our children. Mm-hmm. But I think that, maybe, I think it should. I think the brat said it the best when she said that it should be one of the weapons one of the tools in the toolbox. She said the tool. She said it shouldn't be the first tool we use, but it should be a tool in the toolbox, given if this is the appropriate tool mm-hmm. for the right child. Mm-hmm. Meaning there are some, I think you got to like ratchet up to it. Like, I think you start, you got to start with, talking and then depending on the age of the child, and like, there's all kinds of things that you got to do to figure out what is appropriate for that child. Because some kids, specifically boys, in my experience, are very difficult at times to like talk to because the talking doesn't work.
Yep.
And so until you like put your hand on them, and sometimes not even a spanking, it's just like putting your hand on them, then they like stop. Like, oh wait, hold on.
It grounds them. Sometimes you have to ground a person, but yes, there's sometimes you have to ground people.
Stop. You're doing too much. Sit down. And you're like, oh, okay. But then there are some who like you can't do that too. That doesn't work. You know, so and then like I said, I think it depends on the age because I know when I got to a certain age, I never squared up on my old man, but but the thought crossed my mind. You know what I mean? It was like I probably could take him at this point. And then it was like, nah, because he's crazy.
That ain't what you want to play.
He's crazy. And he wouldn't, even if I did get him now, he would wait till I went to sleep. And come That's the kind of stuff my dad does. He would wait till I went to sleep and then come in there and like start popping around, around sleep. I'm like, so, yeah. So yeah, I think I think overall it's a tool in the box that's necessary, but I do think that we've overused it. I think previous probably overused it. Where I think now, my honest opinion, I think now, sometimes including myself, that we let these kids go a little too far, and then we've gone too far the other way, and then we got to find our way back to a happy medium, because in my opinion, some of our kids, and mine included at times, be getting a little out of hand. And they can use a little more, a little tighten it up. So I ain't saying whoop it, but like tighten up in terms of how they are. So.
That is very true. And I'm glad you mentioned the other side of that, because we can get caught up in the do you don't yous. But yes, you definitely mentioned that. I'm going to get Tavia's comment in here real quick before I expound on that right there. Because we talk ourselves out of accountability on that note too. Latavia says, I don't place my hands on my children. They know we don't place our hands on the people we love. If I love you, why would I intentionally hurt you? Yes, that is essentially the root of, I think, why a lot of parents have decided or thought better of choosing corporal punishment as the way of raising their kids. Now, to the flip of that, you are absolutely right that there are times where I think we have allowed our children to miss some of the very valuable lessons that we got growing up, that we have recognized now did prepare us for adulthood, that did allow us to move in spaces and rooms and environments that we would not have had we not learned those lessons way back when. I have heard here recently that when we could correct our children like out in public for doing too much or running around and doing all that stuff, that like we shouldn't do that any longer, because no one ever stops and corrects little white kids when they're running around the place. We allow them to enjoy the space, free roam in the space. So if we're going to be free Black people, we should let our children explore and do all of the things just like them. And I think to myself, no, because it's not our slave mentality that says little Billy need to sit his ass down because this is a waiting room and not a playground. That is just because that's not what you do in the waiting rooms. You sit down and wait to be seen in the waiting rooms. You know what I'm saying? So I think we've started to adopt some of that. And it's more, we're taking a revolutionary stance. Like this wokeness has clouded a lot of our judgment of just preparing our kids to mesh into society. Like there are certain things that you need to prepare your children for based on the expectations of the society that you plan on putting them into. You're not raising children, you're raising adults. So like at some point you got to be able to temper that so that you can actually prepare them, because you're gonna get a bunch of kids who are not gonna know how to act nowhere. Everybody gonna show up looking crazy because that's what they felt like. You know what I mean? Everybody gonna show up talking crazy because nobody ever told them that there's a time and a place and tact is a thing. Like we gotta, because everybody is be you, be real, do like we have to. It comes from discipline. That's a form of discipline also, but we have stopped. We lack discipline now. Like in our current spaces, we're kind of lacking discipline. So we have to look at this from the full side. I'm so glad you brought that up. I mean, we can't, they don't know. They're watching us in a lot of ways. They are watching and hearing us. You're doing lots of nods. What you got, bro?
No, I agree. I think, like I said, the whole idea of us, I was gonna say our experience is different. So I don't even think it's really not being funny. Like I don't really think comparing our experience, our experience to little Timmy's is even really a good thing to do, because little Timmy is white and his experience in the world is going to be completely different. So, I do think that, again, back to the other stuff, that there are some times when we should, like when we are a little too, we don't let them be kids. Like they're kids, they're not supposed. So I agree with that there are some spaces, and culturally I think we should make some adjustments. And when I'll use, like the church one, I'm probably very more liberal than most people would expect with my son, like in church. Like I don't expect Trey to sit there for an hour and a half, don't move, don't ever say nothing, don't, like I think that's just unfair. Because at 7 or 8 now, he shouldn't have the discipline of a 28-year-old.
Right.
But he knows, don't talk. It's not the time to come up to me and ask me to go to the bathroom. But he knows those things. He knows don't be on his iPad until, when Dad goes up to talk, you can take out your iPad. That's fine. He knows those types of things, which I think are appropriate. But like when I grew up, it was, you couldn't talk, you couldn't move, you had to ask to go to the bathroom. Like it was like, so I think in those things we could probably loosen up a little bit, but still there's still a level of appropriate discipline for their age that I do think that we kind of manage to. And it is going to be different and it is going to look difficult, going to probably be a little difficult. But I think, again, that's where as parents, we have to kind of figure out who our child is, where our child is in their development. Not saying we can't push them, because we definitely have to push them a little bit to, kind of come up. But it's like, I tell parents all the time, leave them alone. They're fine. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah. Like if I'm up, like in church and people and kids are moving, I'm like, leave them alone. They ain't bothering me. Or, but I know that's not normal. But, that's I think kids got to be kids. But at the same time, our job is to prepare them for the next, for when they go out in the world. So whatever stage they're in, we have to make sure that we're appropriately preparing them for that stage and for the next stage. But it's unfair to have a 5-year-old be able to have the discipline of a 15-year-old even. Yeah. So
just not gonna happen. Yep.
The other reason my head was because when you had talked about oh sure, I forgot it that quick. Never mind. Keep going.
I was just gonna bring up Mike's comments. He says boys are different. Boys need corporal punishment sometimes. I think while I want to agree, because I did agree definitely with Wynn's comment earlier that sometimes you got to be more hands-on. I don't always think it has to be that type of hands-on. And I also think that it does vary from child to child. Like my son happened to be easy. Like Adrian didn't respond to that type of discipline. He was my first child. You know what I mean? I immediately, like it took me, he was maybe 4 years old just from poppins. You know what I mean? I recognize that Adrian does not respond to that, not in a defiant way. Like Adrian shut down different after being popped or something like that. It didn't do the correction. It did more of a reclusive thing for him. Adrian does better with words. So I had to learn something different. Because again, I was like 19 at this point, like 18, 19, something like that. So I was young. That was all I knew. I wasn't super spanked growing up, but I knew that's what you did. Your kids act out. That's what you do. And they get it under control. You do it when they're little, so you don't have to do it when they're big. See? Like that was what I knew. But then I had to challenge myself to figure out a different way. Like I had to know my son well enough to realize this is a different kid. This isn't a kid who's been disappointed, who feels shame or disappointment for doing something wrong. This is a kid who now in a way fears me a little bit because I'm not the mommy that I was a minute ago. It didn't give him the same effect. It didn't give that safe, I'm protecting you vibe. So I had to find out a different way. Like I had to figure out a different way. My daughter, my middle child, same way. She doesn't respond to that. Now that baby, that there Nasia, that one is the one who almost made me put all of that ish back in the box and choose violence. Okay. Like I had to come down my hallway a couple times and tell James, hey, That one right there. Gonna make me hurt her long before she sees teens, okay? Because you know they say wait till they become teenagers. No, me and Asia been going around since sis was 6, like 6 years old. Me and her was in the corner in the room. Are you crazy right now? Who are you talking to? Like, because she gets like they're shaking mad, like she gets, you know, every kid is different, and this was the last one. I was not expecting that, you know what I'm saying? But I had to swivel. I had to figure out a different way. I can't raise 2 kids and all of a sudden I start smacking around the baby. Like I got to figure it out. And we've come to some understandings. And I still walk off sometimes shaking my head with my fist balled up like, little girl. But we figured it out. So I think, you know, you just have to find a different way. We as parents, that's a part of the job. We got to find a different way sometimes. It don't always work. Too funny though. That baby, that made me laugh thinking about her.
I remember, I think there's only been one time where Trey has made me so mad that I was like, get away. I think I was going to get away from me.
Walk away. Mm-hmm.
Now, I told him, get away from me now, before I come. And he's like, oh, shoot. Like,
they know.
And,
they know.
Yeah, and he leave me alone for about 30 minutes and they come back, Dad, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not ready for that. Give me a minute.
Go on now. I hear you. Go. Yeah.
You know, so, but I think maybe one time, and you know, but again, he's not. So I think that it's, you got to figure out where your child is, and how they respond. Like I've seen some people, like you said, who don't respond well to spankings, but respond well to, you know, like push-ups. I used to do it to my little cousin. I'm like, man, give me push. Man, every time, give me push-ups. Give me push-ups. Give me some sit-ups. You know, give me some 6 inches.
The wall sits. Is that what they call
them? Give me some wall sits. Give me, let's go. Come on. You want to keep talking? Come on. Mm-hmm. Come on, give me 10 more. Keep going. We're going to do this all night. We can do this all, you know. It just depends on the kid. That's what worked for them. So, you know, I think it's got to be, but there are some kids that you just got to, my opinion, you got to put your, and I think the part of this discussion in 3 minutes that I'm interested in is like, do we think that a part of what we're seeing culturally, when I say culturally, I'm referring to kids fighting teachers, to uncontrollable things happening in classrooms and stuff like that, is a part of the lack of this type of punishment discipline at home, or is it just these kids are just different now? You know, because I've even had conversations with people like people like gangs are different. You know, like they don't have any respect like for the code. So is all of this just a lack of discipline when it comes to punishment?
It's a very good question. I think a lot of it is a lack of discipline. Yeah. I think it's a lack of discipline, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's physical. I think it is a lack of boundary setting. We're in that weird place when things start to change in a very big way. We're in that stormy part. We are no longer in the calm. We are absolutely in the storm of where all of the bad decisions and the proposition of the good decisions are doing this, because now everybody recognizes that something is changing. Things are changing. So you're either buckling down and tearing down, you know, bearing down onto what you know, or you are full on, balls to the wall, embracing the new thing with no way to mesh the two. So therefore you get what we have right now. And not just in discipline. I think it hits every part of our society right now. So I think where we used to go so hard on discipline, where no one could have free thought, speak outside the box, challenge anything, do any of those things. Now we get to challenge everything. The kids come home after showing out, and the parents says, "What the teacher say? She ain't gonna talk to you crazy." Da 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 da. So when the kids go to class, now you ain't gonna talk to me crazy, and they don't fear you calling their mama no more. Because the mama cussed the teachers out. Everybody cuss, you know what I mean? Because it's just a thing. So I think we are lacking just as much discipline as these children. We can't say they watch us. They watch us. So especially if you're one of those parents who talk crazy about the teachers, don't show any respect for any type of authority, you also spank your children, send them into a space to have to deal with adults as authority figures, and then expect them to actually take that authority. Yeah, they want to fight somebody. So because they know you ain't gonna really trip if you fight the teacher, might as well be the teacher. Might as well be the little resource officer. Might as well be whoever I get to come in contact with, because you don't care. You talk just about crazy as everybody else does.
Yeah. Yeah.
They only fear the parent. Like sometimes that's the only person.
They even fear the parent. That'd be the problem.
Yes.
Most of them they don't even fear the parent. They don't fear anything or anybody.
Yeah. But we live in a free society now where everybody makes their own rules. Everybody gets to do their thing. There's a space for me somewhere. Somebody gonna like it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, that's
that was a good question. I'm gonna keep thinking on that one though, because there's so many different facets to that of why that could be. Because it's definitely different than when we grew up. Like we had fights, but they weren't a lot like this. They weren't like
we weren't fighting teachers.
I don't know. There was a family of there was the mama, the two aunties, and all three of the sisters fought the principal all up and down outside in front of the East Commons. This happens. Our principal got jumped on like 3 times during my high school. Now, he was an extra now. This happened at multiple schools that he went to. James had him at a school in middle school, and then he came here. So we both met and had stories about this man, okay? But I'm saying it did happen. It happened, but
it wasn't on the norm that you saw students and teachers fighting.
Yeah, not like
you might see parents. You might see every so often, or you might see a parent, but students and teachers fighting on a regular basis, like we see now, I don't think was as prevalent. So
the consistency is crazy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or students, and I think some of it also, we also know some of it has to do with, like you said, parents willing to fight, parents telling teachers don't touch my kid or don't do anything to my kid. So now the kid feels like they got room to talk back crazy because the parent is going to defend them. And I was listening, and they were like, even the whole village thing, like it was at least when I was growing up, because I'm a few years older than you, like my neighbors knew us enough, and my parents trusted them enough that if they whooped me, they whooped you. What did you do? So and then I would get in trouble again, but that's just not. Now it's like, don't nobody touch my kid but me, and then you don't touch your kid. So where is the level of discipline or accountability? Let's use that word. Even so, is there any accountability at all, or do children in general feel like they could do whatever they want? And
I need you to be a part of my village, because my village recognizes how I discipline. So I know that you're going to take whatever precautions I would before you got to. But I also recognize that if you feel the need to get it, you do what you got to do, because I know you're still going to do it in a way that does not disrespect how I parent. You know what I'm saying? In general. But just because you're a part of somebody else's village don't make you a part of mine. Like, because folks is crazy out here. So like, I'm kind of like on that. I don't know my neighbors that well. Like I'm not in that space like that.
Right. So, because we don't know our neighbors, right? But I mean, like
we don't know our neighbors like that.
We did, so that was different. So all right, let's go get they're here now. So let's go and do this fire starter. So you want to go ahead and introduce?
Yeah. All right, y'all. It is time for Passion Talk with our good old fire starter. And from what I understand, we have a letter today. We have a Dear Firestarter letter. So we're about to break it on down this evening. You guys, it's been I think 3 weeks since we got she hosted a few weeks ago. So we got the Firestarter talking about emotions being unstable, giving us a good description, a good example of a Dear Firestarter situation. So excited to get on into this, because y'all, emotions be out here like retrogrades and cray. We getting back outside with people after the pandemic. Like emotions make us cry sometimes. Let me stop. Come on, Firestarter. Let's get on up here before.
Make me fall in love.
Hey.
First time.
Make you cry sometimes. Yes. What up, my squad? What up, nation? This is your girl, Cicely Victoria, owner and founder of Passion International. My business street is to help train and equip people to find their voice of identity so they can stop people pleasing and be empowered, encourage confidence and communication. I'm a certified professional coach. I'm a counselor as well. I am the queen of empowerment, and I set people's lives on fire for a living. That's why they call me the fire starter. Welcome to Passion Talk with a special segment again of the Dear Fire Starter letter, where we're going to give you practical tools for everyday living so you can press into your personal power. When I know my guest was having some challenges coming on, is that still the case?
She's here.
Okay, I wasn't certain because she was informing me there were some challenges before. So good. Okay, I'm glad. All right, so I wasn't like, we didn't necessarily have to do the big reveal like we did the first time, but we can. And I can go ahead and introduce the letter. I can introduce the letter and then we can go right into it. So I always inform you of what the Dear Fire Starter letter was that was submitted, and then we're gonna just go right into talking to our guest for today. So her name is Ayana Smith. She wants to learn how to be more emotionally stable. She noticed she has moments where she feels unstable in her emotions. She says 1 minute she will notice that she's in a high, and then she'll have moments when she's in a low. And then when she's low, she noticed that she still aims to fight to try to maintain seeming happy or being okay. But she still, I know she said it's still obvious that I'm not feeling the greatest or the silliest that I can be. I know it's still obvious to those who are close to me that something shifted or is a little off, and that can just, tell when I'm a little down. I don't like that because I know that I can make the people around me who may not know me that well or even do know me feel uncomfortable or just concerned. I also notice certain triggers that I have as well, and being sensitive to people's judgment and thinking that someone is judging me or taking things that people could do the wrong way instead of just realizing the love that someone truly has for me. So even as I'm sharing this letter, I want you to consider yourself. So this is, we are, channeling her situation, but I want you also to consider yourself. So that's how we make this a communal effort. All right. And she also says that there are shifts when she feels low, not low like a deep depressed low. She's talking about shifts in her mood from high to low, where she's just a little more quiet and she doesn't know if that's normal. So she knows everybody has their moments where they're quiet, not in a mood, or just wants to be bothered with no one, but it's more quiet for her, just not as talkative, not as connected. When she notices that she's in those moods, she can feel more irritable and she doesn't like that because she knows it's room for her to be in a better mood or more consistent. She likes to, she knows it's room for her to improve and just to be more consistent with just being happy and jolly and consistent in her emotions. She knows people have understanding that it's part of being human. You can just be moody, but part of her feels like it's not okay. It's time for her to be more consistent. And she's not grumpy, mean, or rude when she's feeling low. She can be, but she just chooses to not be. And she simply doesn't want to be engaged and just not talk as much. She said, possibly I could be in my head about it or taking certain things that people do or say the wrong way or feel irritable inside and come across as irritable. She says, Firestarter, I want you to help me learn to be more stable, have esteem, and grow in my self-love, because I still need to develop a lot of growth within that as well. Okay, so this is a loaded situation, obviously. So let's definitely go ahead and bring Ayana on so we can not delay and get started jumping into it. Okay. Hello, Ayana.
Hello.
Hello, dear. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. So good to see you. So, my audience, I'm always transparent with you all. I know Ayana personally. She's not brand new to me. So I've known her for some time. This is my sister, my friend, confidant. I call her one of my daughter sisters. Young enough to be my daughter, but old enough to be a sister. And I am very interested and intrigued about her letter today. So Ayana, and if you hear me call her Yanni, that's because I call her Yanni, so same person I'm talking to. So you sent in this letter. We've processed some of this information already. And I want to, I might pose a couple questions to you, but I definitely, when you were mentioning some of the things that you were experiencing, it took me to the temperaments, okay, and learning about the temperaments. And many people are not familiar with the 4 temperaments, and that's like the big takeaway I want to give to Scoop Nation today. If you can write down in the chat 4temperaments.com, that is a location. There are several different locations where you can find out more about the temperaments, but 4temperaments.com is going to be a valuable resource to you. One, to discover about your own temperaments and being able to communicate, better to yourself and to others in regard to, your temperamental space. So, Ayana, it was what I want to start in saying that when I learned about the temperaments, and I want to say it probably was around the time I was getting to coaching, maybe going through my coaching school, possibly approximately no, it was before that. It was actually in my 20s when I learned about the temperaments. And let me just say to everyone, learning about the temperaments within themselves just radically revolutionized my life. Okay. So first and foremost, just the knowledge thereof radically revolutionized my life. And that is why I'm stressing them, because again, many people don't know them as common knowledge, but it is something that is very personally used in your own life. If you get to know them, if you take the assessment, there are assessments out there for them, and then become familiarized with just how you're wired and how you're made, you're going to learn a lot more about your emotional state. You're going to learn a lot more about your communicative style. You're going to learn a lot more about your demeanor and your countenance that typically is on a norm and why it is the way that it is. You're going to learn a lot about how to, as I always say, be kind to yourself in regard to spaces that you may express like a certain way that you may not even like about yourself, but you know that it's not necessarily a bad quote unquote thing, but it just may seem unfruitful at times because it does not lead to produce, right? It does not lead to productivity, but there are ways and ways and spaces in which you can get familiarized with that and then communicate it, to others. So it won't be such a demeaning trait about you that you feel like you have to get rid of it. Okay. Yanni, are you tracking with me so far?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So let's go in a little bit. So you were, we spoke a lot about, you said these patterns that you were having. You said at particular times, this is one thing I wanted to know, was the patterns in which you were experiencing these low times or what have you. Was it something that was there a theme like revolved around these patterns, such as like if it's around a holiday, if it's on Mondays, if it's on Fridays, if it's on daytime, nighttime, high stress, little sleep, your menstrual time? Like what kind of dynamics are going on typically you feel like when you're having these low moments, if you have a theme around them?
Well, I noticed I can become moody around when I'm on around my menstrual in the beginning or when I'm coming off.
Like all women
Um,
do, right?
yeah,
So there's nothing abnormal about that.
I
Yeah.
know, but I
Mhm.
also notice when I'm dealing with certain insecurities, like feeling as if, or it's moments when I notice when I'm feeling low, or just in a place where I feel like I'm condemning myself a lot, or feeling as if I'm not giving my best or being my best. Um, and so I noticed that I feel myself just feeling low around those moments, or if and honestly, this just has a lot to do with me just noticing it just recently when I was hanging out with my friends, my 2 best friends. Um,
Mhm.
I just noticed that I felt, as if they just, I don't know, just taking things the wrong way. And that it just be moments like that, but it's just I don't know because I'm the type of person that be just dealing with stuff head on. I have not felt that way like recently. Recently, I've actually became a lot better because of the things
Mhm.
that I had to do to confront it. But it would just be moments like that that would be throwing me off. Like, why in the world am I taking these people that I love and care about the wrong way, and sometimes deeming as if they don't love me or they feeling some type of way but not speaking up about it, or they being indirect with me. But I noticed that in those moments it's not always me condemning, but it's just be me not in a good mood, just having more negative thoughts than usual or just being more irritable. So if that makes sense, like I said before, I'm still learning myself and these emotions and the things.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. It makes total sense. It makes total sense. Thank you so much for saying that in that way. I'm going to take a deep dive into communicating what Ayana's results were of her temperament assessment. I had her to take this prior to our segment. And from the results, Yanni, it was very telling. I don't know if you got a chance to look at them thoroughly, but it was very telling as to why you may have these reactions or may have been experiencing these emotions in those types of ways. And even the way that you just explained it and
mhm,
detailed it, like how you're wired, makes sense as to why you see it that way or why it's expressed that way. So let me just share it with the community and Scoop Nation. This is for you. So if, like I said, fortemperaments.com, it should be in the chat by now. I want you to go out there after the segment and I want you to take it yourself. I'm going to reveal kind of the two dominant, there are typically two, a dominant and a secondary temperament that people operate with at any given time. Okay. There are four total. We all could have a little bit of four, and we do because we are holistic beings. But there are typically those that precede others, right? So you'll have a primary and you'll have a secondary. What else do I want to mention about this? So Ayana is a sanguine. These are the names of the four temperaments, you all. In no particular order. It's sanguine or popular sanguine. It's perfect melancholy. It's powerful choleric, and it's peaceful phlegmatic. Okay, again, it's peaceful phlegmatic. It's powerful choleric. It's popular sanguine, and it is what was the other one? Perfect melancholy. Okay, so I'm just going to focus for the sake of time on the sanguine, which Ayana is a high sanguine personality, which she's at 75% popular sanguine, okay, which is very high. She's a 25% choleric personality. Now, let me reveal something really quickly, okay, because I've spent some time with the temperaments and I know some generalized knowledge that I want to share. These temperaments are attributed to certain animals. I think this will help you out in getting a broader perspective of the characteristics or the trait that will be expected from these type of temperaments. So when you find out yours, you'll know the animal that is kind of likened to you. Okay, so the popular sanguine, Ayana, is the man. It's us, or what they call the Homo sapien, right? They
mhm,
recognize us as mammals, regardless of your belief system. That's what it is. Okay, so we're man, right? Okay, so
mhm,
that's the sanguine. The powerful choleric is the lion. Okay,
mhm,
that's the one that's likened to the lion. I'll explain this further. The peaceful phlegmatic is like it was the lamb
mhm,
or the beaver, something like that. Something an animal that's real docile, right?
mhm,
Some don't bother nobody, you know what I'm saying? Don't bother you. Okay, so and then lastly, we got perfect melancholy. Yes, the perfect melancholy is the eagle.
mhm,
Okay, so these are the animals attributed to these temperaments. Okay, so we got a mixture of Ayana being the man, okay, us,
mhm.
and the lion. She's 25% lion, 75%, what I'm saying, human, if you will. Okay, so it makes a lot of sense sometimes because let me go into what sanguine personality is. This is really beautiful knowledge for those who have never come in contact with before. I have to zoom through it, so please pay attention. And same to you, Ayana. I'm going to go right to, okay, the sanguine personality is sunshine, okay? Sunshine. They're friendly, they're fun-loving, they're optimistic, they're up to something new and exciting, right? They're spur of the moment adventurers, right? Like, what we gonna do? Where we gonna go? What we gonna do? They love traveling, meeting new people. They never meet a stranger. You know, they love new ideas. They live in the moment. They enjoy life to the fullest. They're extroverted, typically active, inquisitive, energized by being around people. Their enthusiasm is contagious. They're the life of the party. They're funny. They love the limelight. They're affectionate. They enjoy social activities. They make friends easily. They're imaginative. They're creative. Yet, on the flip side, they wear their emotions on their sleeve sometimes. And they sometimes are also quick to forgive and forget. And sometimes just to forget altogether, okay? That's a trait that typically is attributed to the sanguine because they live in the moment, which makes sense. So they can forget, you know, something as quick as they were there, they're gone and on to the next thing. All right. So just kind of take this in as I'm communicating it. Sometimes they're easily distracted. Sometimes they struggle with follow through. Sometimes accused of being superficial and forgetful. In relationships, they're affectionate, eager to please, and forgiving. Your generosity and desire to please others can sometimes result in being overcommitted. Okay, and on occasion, it says sometimes your humor can get out of hand. So some of the things that you were referencing, like, you know, and like people not, you know, going about a roundabout type of way in dealing with you or what have you, you don't particularly care for that because the sanguine is a pretty direct temperament style. All right. It's like, you know, what you see is what you get, like with the sanguine, and that's what it is. Now, let's jump over to the choleric though, real quick. The choleric, let me give you some messaging also around these temperaments. So I think the messaging is going to help people out a lot as well. The messaging around the sanguine is let's do it the fun way. Okay. So the sanguine says, let's do it the fun way. The choleric temperament, the lion says, let's do it my way. Okay. They say, let's do it my way. Okay. That's the boss temperament, the bossy temperament. Okay. The peaceful phlegmatic says, let's do it the easy way. I hope someone is putting this in the chat. Okay. The phlegmatic, let's do it the easy way. Don't want no smoke, don't want no fire, don't want no ripples, don't want no problems. Okay, that's the phlegmatic. I'm staying out the way. Okay. And then finally, the perfect melancholy says, let's do it the right way. So the melancholy, as the ego, is always bent towards doing things like, you know, I's dotted, T's crossed. It needs to be perfect. Those are those that are challenged with perfectionism. Okay, the melancholy, because they have to have things just so. Okay, so that's just another side note, you know, for everyone that will help you in this like short teaching about it. So the choleric, right? These are strong personalities. These are like type A individuals who make great entrepreneurs. They respond quickly to situations. They are great leaders. They are great planners. They are energetic. They're determined. They're confident. They're self-motivated. They're strong-willed. They're decisive. They focus on results. They go after what they want. They're persistent. They can also be accused of being stubborn, domineering. They think that they're right. Okay. Most of the time they feel irritated by people who are weak, who are mousy, who are indecisive, who are passive. Right. But if you're partly melancholic, this will, you know, temper that out. So I want you to look at the dynamics of both of those temperaments. Okay. You again are a dominant sanguine who, you know, with this, I'm gonna look at the combination. This optimism, if you learn to balance like the two, Ayana, between the sanguine and the choleric, you will become a most dynamic individual. Now, what's something important to know about temperaments, they do evolve and they may change. So who you are now at 22, sweetie, 22? 22. Okay. So who you are now at 22, you may evolve and not be dominantly that at 32. How
Mm-hmm.
do I know? Okay, because that used to be me. I used to be a dominant sanguine. I'm not a dominant sanguine anymore. All right. So it's kind of reverse. All right. And so it's okay because you evolve, you grow, and other things happen. So I want you to know that there's nothing wrong, right, with the dynamics of how you are having these emotional kind of setbacks and things of that nature. Sometimes it's just the wrestling of the temperaments within us, that there's a dominant piece of you that just likes to want to like roll off right on a duck's back. That's the sanguine. It's cool, I'm good, you know what I'm saying, everybody piece, you like let's be good, right? But then there's the 25% though, still choleric, that like no, you know what I'm saying, like something no needs to be right about this, something needs to be better, okay, something needs to happen differently, we need to get clarity, right, about this. That's your leadership side. You feel me? Now, that may be not as much at the forefront right now because, as you said, you're still learning yourself, you're still growing, you're still evolving, you're still maturing. But I just want to get you this information, and I'll forward all of this to you as well. These details, yeah, just so you can have greater compassion towards your wiring. Because sometimes when we don't like our emotional spaces, a lot of that is due to we not having the knowledge or the understanding or the appreciation, and therefore can't put forth the honor as to how you are made.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how you are made at a certain time, at a certain age, in a certain space, for a certain city, like whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there is nothing wrong about that. It's just like greater awareness needs to be birthed around it. And this was a wonderful way and a universal way for everyone, including Ayana, to study yourself, right, with scientific and research knowledge that you can internalize, take for yourself, and then have language to communicate to others. Hey, this is why I respond this way. Hey, this is why I think this way. Hey, it's not about me having an attitude or whatever. This is how I'm wired and this is how I think about it, right? And so the mature individual that you're speaking with will be able to have greater appreciation for that, and then be able to, reason better with you over and above just someone saying, well, this is just the way I see it, right? Because when people don't have language for things, that's where they go to. Well, this is where I see it. You don't see it that way. That's on me. That's on you. That's not on me. And you don't see all of that. It's like, no, 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 no. That's not productive. That's not going to get us anywhere. So, but when you give language to things, then you open up people's eyes to say, oh, I never really thought about that. Like, okay, that makes total sense as to why you say that. Oh, that makes total sense as to why I respond that way. And
Okay.
what it does, it gives you greater compassion for yourself. And what's the kicker is the bonus, not just for yourself, but for the people that you talk to. So then you have compassion that their temperaments are different. So I highly recommend everyone that you take this temperament assessment with your closest friends. Like whatever your squad is, right? Y'all should have a little party, come together and take your assessment together real time, and then just have dialogue about your results. And I promise you, it will be very eye-opening. We've done this in leadership teams together, and it really revolutionized the way that we did leadership, because sometimes you just don't understand why people are a certain way until you get to know how they're wired and what their temperament is. Okay, was that helpful?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Oh my goodness, what are you taking away right now as we close?
Um, Honestly, what I'm taking away with just so far as just being really intentional with just appreciating who I am. And like you said, just so far as diving in more of understanding my temperaments and who I am and how I think and how I'm wired for right now. Because like you said, one thing I've noticed a lot lately, even I think I can most definitely say it's probably been a good year or two that I believe that Holy Spirit been making me aware, um, is that I evolve very quickly. It's like one day I could be dealing with something, but because how I'm wired, I like to deal with it. I like to figure out something. I pray about it. Next, thing you know, the Lord give me revelation. Boom, I'm thinking differently. You know, so
Mhm.
so the thing is, like you said, just finding balance, but not
Yeah.
being so hard and being so critical. Because sometimes I think that it stems from that place, just being so hard and critical, where I will
That's
approach
the
God like,
choleric.
huh?
Yeah, that's the choleric personality. It truly
Yeah,
is. Yeah,
yeah,
it's a very judgy type of personality. It is. But that's why it's like really minor in you, but you notice it still being there. It's not the dominant part of you, but it's just minor. So yeah, that's a good takeaway. So as I said, I'm going to share this with you, Scoop Nation. I pray that this was eye-opening and helpful for you as well. And I'm giving you that life work to go on 4temperaments.com and get to know your personal temperament. Okay. So this is your Dear Firestarter letter for today. We pray that it has helped you as well as we have processed this together. This has been Passion Talk, where we give you practical tools for everyday living so you can press into your personal power. Until next time, I want you to stay in purpose, stay in passion, stay in power, and stay on fire. My QEQ, my winning win. Any last comments, questions, or concerns?
Oh, that was good, sis.
Good job.
You're gonna have to hit the notes in the comment section later. Ain't nobody got time for them spellings, all of them words, girl. No, ma'am. We don't want to do that to you. Go on and hit us up in the notes. Y'all hold for the breakdown, because nope.
I was like, look, I had to go look up temperaments, like TEMPE.
You know what?
I'm really good with spellings, but that was too many S, the PSY. So I know that when I hear it, but I don't know where they always go. So nope.
So no, I got you covered, Nation. I will come in the chat and I will hit you up with all of the temperaments. But you got the website though in there, don't you?
Yeah, they taking the test. Yeah, they did.
Okay, good. At least they got that. That's good. That's gonna lead you to wherever you need to go. I love y'all so much. I pray in that short time you're able to walk away with that fire. It is loaded, but I'm telling you, and I promise you, if you get to know your temperament, your life will shift in a whole nother dimension that you've never known it. Okay. And it will shift for your community as well. So Firestarter loves you. I look forward to seeing you next time. Stay in purpose, stay in power, stay in passion, stay on fire. See you in June. Can you believe that? June.
See you, sis.
Love y'all. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Any final words?
Whew, go to bed, y'all. No, not playing. I want everyone to have a really good week. Take a little time to enjoy the view. No, but seriously, really enjoy these last couple weeks. We got graduations coming up. We have end of year things happening, folks getting out of school, summertime. Just take a moment to pause and just enjoy these next couple days. Until next time, until next Tuesday. And yeah, visit elegancebydesign.com. Order you some sexy shade, child. Get that. But yeah, see y'all next week.
There we go. All right, very good. I agree. When is Adrian's graduation?
May 22nd. Baccalaureate is this Sunday. Yes.
Okay. All right.
It's happening, y'all.
Yeah.
I have a whole senior.
Oh, you know what? And we did not do this last week, so let me do this today.
Okay.
Happy Mother's Day. I hope you have a happy Mother's Day. And to all the mothers who are watching and who are present, I hope you had a good Mother's Day. I hope you recognize and realize that the celebration that was or was not done that was is not sufficient. Even if it was done well, it's not sufficient enough to adequately say how valuable and how necessary and how loved you are. So happy Mother's Day to every single mother, including mine, who apparently has been watching. I hope y'all have had a good Mother's Day, and we definitely appreciate who you are and what you do for us. So I wanted to say that. We didn't do that last week.
No, we're too busy fussing about getting gifts to actually say it. We just missed the whole have a happy one. We was too busy talking about getting gifts.
Yeah.
Oh, child.
Only other thing I have, y'all get my books pre-order. We're still in pre-order, so y'all go ahead and get it. Surviving Relationship Storms. Get it at bit.ly/Blue Storms today. Book again about how to thrive, how to survive the storms, the inevitable storms that happen in relationships. So y'all want to get this book and get it today. So other than that, I don't have anything. Great show tonight. Firestarter was awesome. Hot Topics was awesome. So I am very, very, very happy and excited about this show. And again, and y'all thank you to all of the Scoop Nation for all of your great questions and your great comments and the great discussion. Because y'all do that. That's not something that Q and I do. That is something you all do by giving us your feedback and your input. So please know we appreciate it. And then if you're not a part of the Scoop Nation group, y'all go to it and join. It's at Scoop Radio Show. Like the page, join the group, answer the questions to get in the group, please, so we can let you in. And that's all I got. I'm missing anything? Thank you, Q, of course. I appreciate you for everything, for your so yeah, you know.
Yep.
Now we going to bed. Red now. That means
listen, you said I told you I look like Monday as soon as we got on here. Like this ain't even my normal Tuesday face. So yeah, I'm going to bed.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night. And we will see y'all next Tuesday for another live Scoop Show. Again, if you haven't hit the share button, tag a friend, let them know. I'll be back next Tuesday. Have a good night.
You just can't give up. Can't you see the tears in my eyes? 'Cause I'm gonna try. Baby, I'll treat you right. Just give me one more try. If this is goodbye, if this is goodbye.
And it is. Good night, y'all.